Whopper, 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 Junior Bacon, Double Whopper.
Welcome to the Tar and Feather Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mustached Vet and Ganglion Cortex.
Well, hello.
Did that go through the whole intro?
Yeah.
Okay, because it showed click for sound on my end. I don't know why it's acting weird today. But anyways, hey, what's up?
Hey.
Tar and Feather Podcast.
Scotty.
Ganglion, who's our guest?
We have a great guest today. His name is Danny Schnacky.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Danny? How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Pretty
Another
good.
beautiful day.
Can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
Got the baby, taking care of the baby a little bit today. Julia is crushing it, of course. So I'm trying to take her off her hands whenever I can, and still just trying to keep up my daily rituals of working out and keeping that mental fortitude high and going. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Woo-hoo.
That sounded good. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I just got my first one in of 2024 today. I went to the gym and found out it's still there, which is good.
Not overrun with new people yet?
Not
They
yet.
haven't demolished it and put in.
They'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Put in like a new Frosty Freeze or something.
Right.
Something the opposite of a gym.
Right. The one that hands out Tootsie Rolls and pizza on the way out.
Yeah, used car dealership. I don't know.
The scam. Don't believe it.
Like that. Yeah, don't go there. 4x4s for cheap.
Not trucks.
Not trucks. Small kind of trucks that are 4x4. Something.
Yeah,
like
hard
that.
to believe. 2024, boys. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, here we are.
2020.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a real number, to be fair. 2024 is I don't know if I can really comprehend 2024 of these.
Yeah. That means we're close to 18 years of friendship now.
Whoop whoop.
Wow.
Do the math.
Friends till we die.
You know, that's a long time now.
We
Yes,
took a blood pack.
It's a long time. And like not too long ago, we had our first get together. Well, for a lot of us, right? In
Right.
many years for the wedding of Mr. Mustache Vet.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for being there, guys.
It was
Good
rejuvenating.
celebration. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a blast for sure.
got to hang out with you guys a lot more than I thought, and of course Julia is understanding of that. And I mean, we had a lot of fun. Smoked some cigars, threw back a couple brewskis and non-alcoholic brewskis, some root beers.
Got destroyed at cornhole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who'd you play?
mercilessly by Rudy Rod and I think OB. So
Oh yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
I think that was an interesting point that you were bringing up, that it was like no time had passed. It was just like hanging out, just how we ended it. So
Yeah, man. When you're boys, that's what it's like. It's always the
gangs
next
getting
day.
back together.
It's always the
Getting
next
back
day.
together.
I feel like we look the same as we did in 2007 and 8.
it's weird. It's really weird for me to look back now and see just how young
Mhm.
I look in the pictures and in different stuff, and you guys as well. It's just like, wow, I didn't realize, man, we were young boys. Like we were young men, but
Yeah,
young.
yeah. Believe it or not, forever. For anybody that's new to us, I haven't always had this mustache. I started growing it when I was 24, so that was after the army. So you're welcome.
Well, and
Like
that thing is not within regs, so there's absolutely zero chance you had that in service.
Oh. No, I did have a mustache when we were
Hey,
deployed, but man, you
I
could barely
tried.
see it.
Scott, remember when I got yelled at
Yeah.
in the whole DFAC? Sergeant made fun of me in the middle of Kuwait. He said, "Soldier, what the is on your face?" And I looked straight at his eyes, and I said, "A mustache." And he said, "No, shave that off." And then I went and tried fixing it and did shave it off.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
I forget
Yeah.
out at Hope though. We got away with a little bit out there because for one, you're out from the main camp, but we still got lit up every once in a while because we got real comfortable there for a little while, letting the neck beard kind of get a little long and whatnot. So I can't remember what sergeant that was that lit us up, but I'll never forget. I can see him standing in our motor pool just cussing about the facial hair.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah, I think I had like a 5-day shadow for sure. And then I think OB even told me the day before, hey, make sure you shave. Shave tonight, or at least before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Before the next morning started. He's like, hey, make sure you shave that off. We got somebody important's coming. He's like, he didn't know who, but somebody important's coming. Make sure you're clean. Make sure you're cleaned up. Of course, I didn't listen. I mean,
it's that E4. Listen.
I mean, I was still in E3 at that time.
Okay.
So I was still.
I think it was more of the Hope life.
Yeah, it was. It was watching you and Casey. That's what it was. You guys are spilling on me.
Yeah, we kind of. I remember under this tab over here, because it was the old Velcro ACUs. I had the give a shit meter just on empty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just absolutely bottomed out, and I think we felt that way because it was stop loss time. Yeah, we were probably a handful. OB handled us well for sure. He kept us in check as much as needed, but
I mean, for OB kept us in check, but he knew how to do it.
Yeah,
he knew how to talk to us like men, just like when we were out on the golf course, and that one guy was giving Casey some lip. He's like, "You boys are taking so long." He's like, "We are men. Talk to us like men."
Yep.
Yeah, that's what OB does. He talks to you like man to man. If you don't listen, you don't listen. He's gonna reprimand you, or you're just gonna get in trouble by somebody else.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. I mean, he doesn't need to babysit you, and that's what I got in my head. It was after that instance of me not shaving, I was like, you know what? I think this guy has something to say. I should listen to this guy.
Yeah,
maybe life would be a lot easier in the Army if I just paid attention to him.
Yeah, you to me, like I just remember him being he demands respect without demanding it, like directly, right? Like he deserves the respect, and that's what I remember about OB, and well, I mean that's still true to today. Like he's a brother for sure, and he treated us like that too. Not like subordinate. So
well, he has that big brother mentality, that brother that's been through it. He just doesn't want you to make the dumb, silly mistake again.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to guide you, but he's also going to let you put that fork in the light socket too.
Yeah. Well, or at least be like, you idiot, when you're done with it.
Yeah. He's like, oh, nobody's looking. I'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, oh, damn, didn't see that coming. But yeah, that's the way it was out at Hope. It's good times, and
I liked it.
Yeah, it was like working, like being out for anybody that doesn't know the Army slang. So we were at a forward operating base in Iraq in 2008, and it was a smaller post. You didn't have a lot of higher ups, so regulations were a little bit laxed. We were allowed to be ourselves a little bit, work without somebody constantly hovering above you and you're afraid to get chewed out. So we got our work done. That was the important part. And so I forgot where I was going with that. But
yeah, I think you nailed it as far as like just how it was out there. The expectation kind of back on the main camps and stuff. They put a little more priority on on the pomp and circumstance of the hierarchy, the rank structure and stuff like that, being towing the line, as it were. And on Hope and other combat outposts like that, I feel like, we were entrusted to be the adults that we were essentially there to be, get our work done and not cause problems and stuff. So, little checks here and there, but mostly it was just like, yeah, get your stuff done. We're out here to do a job. So,
right. And it was pretty easy to figure out who wasn't carrying their load, who wasn't carrying their weight. So when somebody wasn't carrying their weight, like, hey man, let's get it going. Wake up. And I don't think there was really that issue with us. We normally got our trucks fixed. Humvees got fixed. You worked on the generators and fixed some of the vehicles, so you were doing double duty.
Yeah, I even got a little time in on the ROPU out there, the water purification system.
Oh yeah,
so
nice.
A little bit of everything out there.
Was that the one that Morin had to troubleshoot, or was that at Loyalty?
I'm not sure. I just remember going out to it was essentially at the front gate of Hope on the Iraqi side of the compound. So yeah, I just remember going out there because they had the generator that was running the ROPU was down. And so we did some troubleshooting on it and stuff. And that was kind of before everything kicked off out there too, with, Muqtada al-Sadr and the ceasefire lifted and all that stuff. That got kind of crazy for a little while.
Was that February of 2008?
That seems right. Yeah.
That's when we got mortared pretty bad at Rustamaya.
100, well, at Hope, I remember 136 in 6 days is what I counted. And that's just like etched in my brain. I just remember counting every blast. And I mean, you remember the feeling of just... You're
just like scribing it on the wall, just tally marks as each one goes by.
Yeah, I should have brought my bag. I got a little baggie of the shrapnel stuff that I collected and stuff that almost killed me. That's what I call it. A little Ziploc of stuff that almost killed me.
Yeah. Little trinkets of...
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. Little trinkets of stuff that almost...
almost
got me.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure stuff was a little bit lax at Cobra too, Corey, right?
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
You and Stalk Up out there?
It's kind of a mess because neither one of us were neither one of us were real mechanics at the time, so
right.
It's a little difficult.
I always forget that Stalk Up. I always forget that Stalk Up's younger than he is.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I thought he was already like 30 years old when I met him. When we were in Iraq. I was like, because he was already E5, right?
Yeah.
And with E5, I automatically assumed 30 years old. Because most of the guys didn't get their E5 till 30. Same with my ex-stepdad. He retired. He was in for 17 and he got out as an E6. So it's just, anyways. But yeah.
I would say, like Schnacky was saying, the benefits of being at a cop was just, we were just doing what we had to do, of driving the fuel truck and fixing trucks. And then you get back and it's like, why is your boot not bloused? And it's like, do I care?
Do you care? Right. Like, it's like, what does this matter right now?
Because I remember when
I'm gonna trip.
I remember when the jack stands failed on Mitch and they were asking if he had his glasses on. And it was like, well, like, should we get new jack stands or something, or just more eyewear? So,
eyewear that can hold up a freaking 7,000 pounds, right?
Yeah, he should have been wearing his cut-resistant gloves and his reflective belt around his face.
He didn't have the belt on, that's why.
Well, you got to wear it like the Star Trek, like that one Star Trek dude, like right around the face.
Those are some of the things that, as a soldier, that I do remember, just that are so frustrating about the military in general, because it's like, on the one hand, like we all get it. Like you understand that they're trying to, through basic training and all that stuff, they break you down. They're trying to take away your train of thought and replacing it with theirs so that you can follow orders and things like that. That makes total sense. But there's still some stuff inside the military that is just like, I'm pretty sure it's just here to frustrate the hell out of you. Like, just to make you frustrated to the point of like, you want to say something, you can't say something. If you say something, you get hemmed up or dropped down. You know, it's
pretty much whoever you are. And then if you were to call somebody out that's above you, you're the one getting yelled at. But I mean, anyhow, it is what it is.
But 24, it's a new year.
Yeah.
It's a new year. Any new plans?
You know, well, I told you guys a little bit earlier that I had my first trip back to the gym, and longer than I care to really admit. So I've been doing a lot of things though. Stayed busy with hockey. I'm coaching hockey up here. I got both my kids in hockey. I'm on the board. I'm webmaster. So it's just kind of all hockey right now. And that's been pretty good because I get out there and I get to skate and stuff. But there's just nothing like, you know, just going to the gym just for right here in between here. And so that I would say that's a plan for me, is carving out and prioritizing some time for what's in between my ears, because then I can give my best self to my kids, to my wife, and anybody else that I work with and things like that too. So just trying to be a little bit more routine on that front here in 2024. How about you guys?
I love it because I checked. I went to the gym 125 days last year, which sounds crazy compared to like where I was 3 years ago. Definitely not going to the gym at all. So one of my goals is to go a little more. But thinking back upon the last year, it has brought me a lot of clarity and a lot of just level-headedness that just simply wasn't there a couple of years ago. And it's just, I think a lot of it's getting that energy out and then just being able to think clearly for a little bit. We've got to expel energy somehow.
Definitely, especially in the digital world, right? I mean, I know I sit 8 hours a day right here, clacking keys, writing software, and I love it. I do. But if I don't get to work with my hands and move stuff and exert, then my mental health starts to degrade, and that's the most telling thing for me.
Right. Be a better father. I can play with my kids better, you know, like, not gonna let them beat me, not yet.
That's right. Huge. Yeah, that's huge. And
it's just like we were at the playground earlier, and it's just like I have no problem playing tag with them, you know, keeping up with them, playing Monster, whatever you want to do. You know? It's fun, it's enjoyable. It's not, oh, I have to get off the bench and go do this. I want to do it. You know?
Yeah, you can dive in the grass, tackle them.
Oh, I'm
lift them up.
I'm going over the railing. We're doing it all.
Yeah, hardcore parkour.
Yeah, dude. It's great. Is that the tag? That World Championships the tag?
Yeah. Oh, have you seen that?
Starting them young.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trolling us with that, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I know if I were to do it, 5 seconds in, I'm smoking my head right on a pole.
Oh yeah, first jump through. I'm just
if you get away,
They're diving sideways while holding on to something or going over it. No, as soon as I go underneath that one, I'm not quite gonna get underneath it.
It's the dinner bell, right?
It'll be my third concussion of my life.
I was telling Brooke that. Do you think I could jump from one side to this other pole? She said, "Don't do it. Don't do
it." Yeah, I can skip 3 monkey.
It's a lower elevation though, so I was pretty confident, you know.
Yeah, it's like those. It's like I went on a teen adventure when I was in Germany, and you stand on a platform, and you got to jump like 3 or 4 feet just to like a little rail, like a hanging like rail up there, and it's not that far, but it's daunting when you're like 50, 75 feet up in the air. So you got to trust yourself. You got to do it. Just do it.
Yeah. That's the problem, Scott.
Did you do it?
We need more obstacle courses for people, like in public, just like public obstacle courses, like the ones in the Army. Just
I mean, why not?
Like high like courses, just out in public.
Yeah, instead that they put these 5 machines. They put these 5 machines up and act like it's a circuit. on the side of a walkway or a run or like a running track.
Oh yeah. It would
Like,
be
yeah,
a
we
setup
have
station.
these 5 circuits. Like, you could do back on this one. Well, you can do legs on the track. So we're skipping legs.
What?
Here's a push-up machine.
You're skipping legs now, Scott?
I'm never skipping legs. It's always leg day.
I
haven't decided a
yeah.
name on the gym. So I don't know what to call it yet.
What?
But anyways,
what about your resolution, Scott?
my resolution is one, I want to more or less get up to 250 pounds weight wise, but that's stacking muscle. I'm going to try and gain as much mass as possible this year. And then 2025, I'm going to slice it down a little bit to just be a little bit lighter. But I want to see my squat numbers go up. I want to see my bench go up, and I want to see my deadlifts go up. And then I'm loosely thinking about entering or joining a strongman gym. But
Nice.
I also have a bad lower back. So we're going to take it in increments. We'll just see. Because I tried playing rugby 2 years ago, and that didn't quite go as planned. So the back is still
It's a
sore.
little more abuse, I think, than
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
impact.
I mean, if you work with good form and you get yourself to that level slowly, you can do just about anything, even if you do have somewhat of a bad back or bad knee.
All about strengthening it, right? Getting the muscle.
Yep, strengthening ligaments and the muscles around it. Also going to look into TRT and get on that, because the mental anguish and everything that we went through just a year in Iraq, that definitely depletes you of testosterone, and being anxious for a whole year or more, and just other things, just also being 36 years old. And then all of the foods that we eat too have to add to that as well, because I'm eating a lot of processed stuff. Let's get real. I'm not super strict when it comes to going to the grocery store. Just when it comes to meats that I smoke. You can find that on shorts on this channel.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, just so one, eat a little cleaner, eat more. So I'm just trying to shovel in heavy or healthy calories, and then whatever, however I feel. It's very loose, but I'm just trying to get stronger and bigger. That's it.
Scott, it's true. If you make your own pizzas from scratch, you can eat them as often as you want.
I bet.
Dude, pizzas.
No shame.
And homemade pizza,
Homemade sauce.
If you get the dough dialed in and you go with that nice thin crust, you get that little crunch going on. If you do it right and you don't use, like you just mentioned, the processed everything,
way to go.
You can. I've been on this sourdough kick that my in-laws found. This company that makes it right here in Hudson, and it's the best bread I've ever had. Hands down. And there's like 5 ingredients versus like 27 in a process thing.
That's the amazing part, right? You can eat that every day. I don't care what people say.
Well, I was looking at
bread. You'll never take my bread.
At the different hot sauces that I have. So Cholula has like 6 or 7 ingredients, but Crystal's hot sauce only has 3 ingredients.
Well, those are two different types of hot sauces, though.
Well, I was going just from their regular hot and regular hot.
Plus, I just boxed up your package with your hot sauce in it.
Hot tight.
So, you're gonna get some local Tucson sauce is on the way, and it's extremely hot.
Oh no! Acid reflux. No, acid reflux.
Go light.
It'll be okay
really
because
light.
Because
just dabs.
You'll be all right.
Just little dabs.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with with all the carbs, all the things that are like, everyone says it's your enemy. You can't eat any more bread. Well, yeah, the reality is because it's just laden with preservatives. Everything in it is built to make that loaf sit on the shelf for like a month. That's wrong. If you know food, that's absolutely not what it's supposed to do. Like, is that convenient? That's great. But
anything that lasts over a week,
you
probably shouldn't eat it.
We probably haven't bought bread in over a year now, including like hot dog buns and hamburger buns and everything. We just make it all.
That's awesome. So you guys do like the sourdough yeast starter and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've done it a couple times.
Nice. Yeah, it's just a huge difference. And as soon as you eat it the next day, and even right after, right? If you eat processed bread, dude, you talk about spiking insulin. I'm immediately like, my anxiety's triggered. I'm all of a sudden just on edge. Like my fight or flight just got triggered. It's weird, right? I mean, your food's not supposed to do that to you.
Also, healthy fats. People forget like cottage cheese and yogurt and stuff like that. Healthy fats. Those are you need all three. You need a balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fats.
If anybody true, Danny, wants I replaced all my oils with fat, with butter fat. We don't use any of the others. And when I cook the bread, it comes out so much better. It's not even close to being burnt like it used to be, and just no difference. Yeah, it's no comparison.
Julia makes our bread in a Dutch oven. How do you make yours?
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
It's sourdough. Yeah.
How do you make yours?
Depends what type of bread it is.
Oh, gotcha.
So like a French,
Julia makes it.
So like a French would just do it on a sheet, or if you want it more like shaped, you put it in a loaf pan.
Yeah, that's right.
So it all depends.
Yeah, we got loaf pan too.
Yeah, I'm big on it.
I like it in the Dutch oven. I like my bread spherical.
There you go.
Yeah. Just like half a circle, just like the earth is shaped. It's half a circle. Hear me out. We're on the back of a giant tortoise. But anyways, it's the turtle earth theory. Look into it.
It's, like on Futurama.
But
it colony forms on Bender's stomach.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, that's how she makes it in the Dutch oven. It looks like a giant dome. It's awesome. And then you just cut it up.
And then you can just have at it.
Like big pieces. Yeah, you can either rip it and eat it with some hummus or whatever you want, man. Or slice it up into big slices.
Well, I don't want to put out like too much here, but like I'm a big fan of dairy. I mean, I just got to throw it out there. I'm in Wisconsin. We're still the dairy state. We still have the title. I'm not sure if it actually is legit anymore, but we love our dairy up here. And I'd say the number one thing that it's gone back and forth, and you've heard it all over the place, right? Like I grew up thinking that whole milk was good, and then they're like, no, now you got to drink skim, and then they're like, no, you should drink whole again, and then people are like, you can't drink milk at all. And dude, I drink whole milk. I don't drink it like I used to, right? I have it as kind of a treat or like a supplement to, a snack or something like that. But like a small
protein shake,
6 ounces of whole milk, nothing beats it. But it's got to be that stuff that's not just hammered, processed, homogenized, pasteurized to heck. The closer you can get it to, out of the teat, as it were. That's how it was intended.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, fresh.
But and then butter, same thing. Amish butter, whatever, if it's not just again pasteurized and homogenized to the point of just being kind of nutritionally useless, it's so good for you. And unless you're completely sedentary in other aspects of your life, it's not harmful, and that's I'm not a medical doctor, of course. I'm not giving advice. This is my opinion, and that's I eat it all the time on everything. Banana bread, dude, come on, tons of butter.
Banana bread at work,
like that's frosted, frosted
banana bread.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
Heavy butter, salted butter too. Don't neglect the salt.
But yeah, but just like I was talking about the healthy fats, and you're gonna get that in almost every dairy product, and it's just about moderation. How many calories are you taking in, and how many calories are you putting out? So your energy out, your calories in.
Yeah.
If you balance that out, you can either go in a surplus of calories and gain muscle and fat, or caloric deficit and lose fat. But if you just eat and stay in a surplus and not work out, then of course you're not going to gain muscle. And you'd be like, well, that diet didn't work. Well, because you're sitting on your butt all day.
Yeah.
Start doing some resistive training. Get out in the morning, go for a run, do some lunges, do something. Take the dog for a run. Your dog wants to be outside, anybody who's listening. It's his favorite part of the day or her part of the day. Take the dog out for a run. It's good for you and the dog. So, but anyways.
Absolutely.
My little tangent there.
Yeah, dude, we're not built to stand still. We are not built to we weren't designed to be sedentary, to just sit and, take in the world, and that's the other part of the digital thing. It's like, I'm a software engineer, so it's like, I'm not putting down what I create, but I don't think we were intended to be scrolling like this all day long, just sitting there. And unfortunately, that's what, we've almost done too good of a job here at capturing the audience's attention. So
it's only going to get worse before it gets any better.
Look at the goggles.
If you want to, it's an addiction. So certainly if you want to get rid of it, then just get rid of your phone. Or just carry it around just for emergencies and have the very basic stuff on it. Just use it as a phone.
T9, make calls.
Just call people. You can delete the message feature. You can delete your iMessage on your phone. You can delete that portion of it. So you can just use it as a phone or a calculator or whatever you want.
You want, right? Like, what do you want? Do you want to be attached and not doing anything, or doing something? Right. I don't know. Because I think about that too. Like, how much time have I wasted versus what could I be doing during this period?
Yeah. What
some of these things aren't in passing. It's now like an activity. Like, that's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't want it to become consuming and then dictating. Because now it's like, oh, well, this is happening, but that hasn't happened in your reality. That's somewhere else.
Yeah, I got 4 hours to do this hobby, and all it is my phone.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any, you might have learned one neat thing or something, or a hack or something like that, right? That's cool, but by and large, that's what we're choosing to do now with our entertainment time, our time that we used to potentially watch a movie as a family or go outside and play as a family, right? Like, it's trickling into every aspect of our life, and you can see it because the kids, like, they can run iPads and phones and things better than the adult now. It's nuts.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of benefits to, some of the learning stuff that's happening, some of the language, just truly learning and like cognizant activities that are happening on there, but that it absolutely comes with the bad side as well. And that, unfortunately, I think is way more prominent than it ever has been. And it just keeps coming out with the freaking Roblox for kids, all this sexualization stuff that's coming out. And you got to wonder, like, where it's going, right? Like, where are we going to take this that we can ever protect the innocence of these kids,
Right. I was able to access the crazy side of the internet when I was 17 years old, 16 years old. Mm-hmm. Your frontal lobe isn't fully developed until you're at 25. And so you're just, that information, that visual is just getting hammered into your head, whether or not you're actively searching for it or not. You're only 3 clicks away from something dumb, from something,
it could be as simple as a YouTube ad that you weren't expecting. So
yeah, you could go on Instagram and OnlyFans accounts, and like I said, you're 3 clicks away. You click on their profile, click on their link, boom, you're already there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's people that people that are married, people that have families that are doing this and posting themselves out there, right? So that's one, I think, example of just like how things have strayed. And like,
but that's a perfect example of what you're talking about, is that Instagram, There's teenagers on Instagram. You got 13, 14, 15-year-olds on Instagram now. And then they're 2 clicks away, 3 clicks away from getting to a certain site to where that probably just says, except if you're over 18. Because how many of those videos did we click on when we were like 17 years old? Of course I'm 18.
Dude, I'm old enough to know that, that we had the fuzzy channels back when it was like the ant race on the on the rear projection.
After 10.
Yeah, and you try and like dial in fuzzy channel.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah, so you used to have to work for it. Okay, Scott, it was different. You had to work.
I know. I was there.
You had to look
too.
at it between the static.
I was there too. I had a TV where you had a knob. It was 13 channels. I was there too. And there was always that lady that was on it at 1 a.m. That 70-year-old, 80-year-old lady talking about dildos. And I was like, what?
I didn't get that channel. See, we had the aerobics, and I'm like, no, you're not doing aerobics. This is not live because it's like 9:30 at night. You're not doing aerobics. I don't care what coast you're on. Yeah, it's just different, right? I mean, I used to think it was just like people when they get old, they get ornery, right? And they start complaining about how much better things used to be. And now I find myself doing that very thing, and I'm like, man,
yeah.
But it's happened in such a condensed period of time too. If you look at it from, when we were kids. So I'm 38 years old, right? And I look back to when I was 18, when I was 16, when I was 14, when I was in school. I just remember things felt different. Like as an example, like I remember when we deployed, right? We're in Iraq, and we're trucking around over there, and I remember thinking this thought, and it's so like vivid for me. I remember thinking like, I don't want to be here. I hate this place. It smells terrible. I want to go home. But I had that, right? I had that peace of mind as a back pocket. I know that I get to go home where things make sense, right?
Right.
And so like I remember glomming onto that. And then, honestly, in the past few years, that's gone. Like I don't feel like that anymore. And I don't know if that's just a product of truly where things are headed and how they feel, but I don't feel the same way. I don't feel like things make sense in this country anymore. They used to, but I feel like things are nuts. And I feel like going to find a source of truth in the mainstream media is impossible. You can't do it.
Well, yeah, everything that's projected out now on Fox or CNN or MSNBC, it's just a projection, and it's just a disguise on what's actually going on right now. And it's taken, I mean, I wasn't too political while we were in. I didn't vote when I turned 18 or whatever. We were able to vote when we were in Iraq, right? It was the first time. It was for Obama and Romney, if I'm not mistaken, or McCain. I think it was, and McCain's an old war vet, POW. I should have voted for him, but I'm from Arizona, and his policies were terrible. Yeah. So who am I going to vote for? Obama? I didn't like his policies either. I knew nothing about him too. So am I going to vote for a guy that was just a senator for 2 or 4 years? For 2 or 4 years, just because I'm not voting for him just because of his skin color. I find that crazy to just vote for somebody. I'm not voting for somebody because they're white. So why would I do it because he's black? I wouldn't do that. So I knew nothing about his policies. What actual change? Like, what did he do in Illinois? I also lived in Illinois, and I knew a lot of stuff about Illinois. So it's kind of like I like, why? So the only time I've ever voted, I voted, I think, twice for Gary Johnson in the Libertarian Party. I know he's not going to win, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
My point is to add another tally in that independent, or I'm sorry for the language, I don't give a fuck portion of the voting system.
Yeah. It should just be called this thing is broken. We're ready for something else. And that's how I kind of feel like. I feel like you have to pick a party because there's 2 parties. But
it's parties that have all the money.
Exactly. Right. And so that's who gets the hooks into the mainstream media. That's why you have two separate sides of the story being told at any given point, depending on what you flip on. And people try to argue all the time that there's non-biased news sources, and I absolutely disagree with you in the mainstream. I absolutely disagree with you. They are being funded from somewhere, and if you trace it back, that's who owns how they dial in their headlines. And so, but I mean, so that's where it's like, as a father and as an American and as a vet and all that things, like, right, we all kind of come to the same seat at the table now, right? And how we approach it might be different, but I just feel like my principles, I shouldn't have to lose ground on my principles by my representation in this country politically. But that's absolutely what's happened. Like you might glom onto one issue and pick your candidate, but then realize that they're just absolutely destroying a whole other subset of stuff over here. It's just, I think the political system is a failure in general of being a representation of the people itself. But you know, it's and largely it's like the corporations that carry it all out too, right? So not only now are we not being served by the government that's over us, but now the government controls the corporations who we buy stuff from. So we're getting taxed and giving it to the government. We're buying stuff and giving that money to these corporations who are serving the government. It's wild to me how all of that is very, very prominent right now. It's obvious. Just look at the headlines that these companies are putting out or putting into their things onto their shelves with the different pride, this and that, in the different virtue signaling that's going on in corporate America right now. It's just wild to me. I'm just there to buy my stuff and go home. And now I have a political thing being thrown at me.
Well, yeah, because anything government can't get done, they tell corporate world to do on their behalf, and it's in alignment. It's the same agenda being carried out, you know, concurrently.
Well, it's just like the government funding the vaccine. How many times did Pfizer have, you know, advertisements on Fox, CNN, MSNBC? I mean, we could just keep talking about those guys over and over again. You know, as soon as I see that Pfizer
do they really Pfizer advertisement, $20 million for one commercial, like, seems kind of suspicious.
Are you talking about Pfizer paying Fox?
Yeah. Well, paying people to be in their
commercials.
You know.
Oh, paying people to be in the commercials.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
Who knows?
I'm sure they do.
Probably.
I don't know how much, but definitely actors.
It's got to be worth it for some reason, because now they're getting backlash from, you know, people like us. They're getting ran through the mud. There's sports podcasts and stuff on YouTube, and people that do like sports reviews on teams and stuff that have a more conservative base, lack of a better term, conservative base of thinking, traditional base of thinking, to where, why did the government want to push this on us so hard, you know? And then you have, you know, NFL players and Pfizer commercials. Like, okay, so why are they still pushing this on us? So It's just,
what booster are we on right now?
15.
0.
Yeah, I mean, there was a comedian I saw. I can't remember where I saw
Unvaccinated.
A little reel, and he's like, no, you don't understand. He's like, I was absolutely going to get the vaccine like 4 or 5 times until I saw
that today.
Commercials that came out and told me to go get it. You better go get it. It's like, damn, why are they pushing it so hard and like pumping it so hard? Especially now that we know, like,
here's a cheeseburger and a donut. Go get it.
All the crazy
free cheeseburger.
Yeah, the incentivization of you know, to go get it. Like, especially, there's no data that says, and I'm big into data. I'm a software engineer. Like, I make decisions based on data.
Yeah.
If there's no data that tells me to go get it because I'm protecting somebody else or a portion of the population, then why is it being forced upon me?
Right.
That's a question, right? That needs answering. And it's just wild. You can't, and it depends on where the data comes from, right? That's the whole thing. So it goes back to, where's the source of truth?
And then they wanted to hide the data for 75 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was wild. Again, Pfizer. wanted to hide it.
BP. I don't know.
So, and then, Johnson & Johnson had that other vaccine, the one that's an actual vaccine. That one was causing clots. But then the Pfizer one's not even keeping you from getting it. You're still getting I understand how vaccines work, but you're still spreading it.
Right.
Your window might be smaller, but you're still spreading it. Like it's not the get the vaccine and, like you're saying, we get our rights back. Like that's what the guy was saying. Like, oh, you get your rights back, and also here's a donut.
Like, and also, you weren't the one who gave me my rights to begin with. Those are in the Constitution. So, please,
the Lord Himself.
Right. Those rights are inalienable, God-given, not man. Correct.
I just never understood how this was some type of new virus that no one knew anything about, but then we also had this cure for it within the same year. So,
yeah, doesn't it take years of efficacy? And
it takes more than 3 months. I don't know, whatever they said it was. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard on the other side of that too, like they've been developing, the mRNA technology. Okay, well, the technology doesn't matter. That's the carrier for what we're talking about here. It's the actual virology aspect of it. It's what it is that you have to understand before you can create the vaccine for it. And so if you've been studying that for however many years, now we have bigger issues because now you do have known about it. And where's it coming from, right? The Wuhan Institute of Virology, I believe.
Something like that.
It was not bat soup.
No. Yeah, that's wild that they're trying to blame it on a wet market, too.
The wet market.
Oh, the pangolin. They tried to blame it on a pangolin.
It's because they released it in the subway system from the wet market to try and cover it up.
Did you guys watch the COVID episode of South Park?
No.
Oh, you have to.
I haven't watched South Park in a long time.
It has Mickey Mouse and a pangolin. And the Chinese, the dictator, he's Winnie the Pooh, I think. They make him Winnie the Pooh.
That's what they call him in China, I guess.
Yeah, you get locked up for that.
Pooh Bear, Pooh Bear, Pooh Bear.
Mm-hmm. He does look like Pooh Bear, though. His face is very round. But I digress. All right, we were 48 minutes in. Let's talk about a little bit about our history. I mean, we were all in the Army together in 2008, 2007, 2008, and a little bit of 2009. Danny, you got out in 2009. And then Corey and I got out shortly after, another year or so after that. Man, how was it being in the Army with us?
Good. I mean, looking back now, it's easy to say that I loved it. I mean, I love the friendship that we have now, the Brotherhood. There were aspects of the service and obviously the couple of deployments that kind of forced me to look at getting out, and ultimately why I ETS'd and stuff. But I think mostly it was just that, I was proud of having served and having been in the military and stuff, but I was just like, okay, something else. I'm like, I want to go do something else. I want to build something meaningful. And really what that was for me was family. I mean, I wanted to meet my wife and start a family. And so that's kind of what pushed me out. But I mean, as far as being in with you guys, like it's fun thinking about the amount of times that we would come in from the motor pool into the barracks, whether we were at Warrior, whether we were at Hope, whether we were in garrison, just the funny stories and the things, the cookouts, the beers, just being around each other all the freaking time and not killing each other. I mean, that's why it's a brotherhood,
right?
Because it's good, bad, ugly, and it's like, all right, these are the guys. These are the ones right here, right and left, right? And we locked arms and we went overseas a couple times. I wouldn't change it for the world. It definitely spun me around for the better in the long haul. So,
and that's a little bit. That's the point of this podcast, is catching up with everybody and seeing what we've done outside of the Army, because it didn't. For the most part, we're not we didn't retire in the Army. We didn't do 20 years. We didn't, so we all wanted to, my reason was a little bit different. I couldn't rehabilitate the injury that I had after Iraq. They wouldn't let me rehabilitate it the way I wanted to. The doctors were telling me to go to rehab. It wasn't working. So everything that they were doing, it just seemed to make it worse. And I also didn't want to stay in the Army with a profile and have somebody carry my stuff. So that's essentially what pushed me out. Was I couldn't run anymore. I can run a little bit now, but a mile or 2 miles is about as far as I go. And when it comes to lifting, I keep it smart. Form over quantity. So quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So I do my best to just try and stay in shape and keep everything moving. But I'm not running 6 to 10 miles like we were doing. We were in a mountain division.
I was just thinking about
that's all we did was run. We ran probably over 20 to 25 miles a week at least, maybe 30 miles a week. That's wild to me. Julia does that every week. She does that. She'll run 10 miles in a day. Me, no. I'm not doing that. I'll hike, maybe throw a 20-pound rucksack on my back or something, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, I do that all day.
Just what I can load out and get ready for the new revolution.
2.0.
That's all I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to be the big guy that can carry the biggest guns and get after it. So
yeah, because they keep talking Civil War 2.0, but I think Revolution 2.0 sounds better.
I do like
it's
that
not going to
better.
be a
Because
revolution with the people.
This whole corporatopathy or whatever, and this fucking Federal Reserve bullshit. Like, why doesn't the Treasury make our money? Like, why do we pay a private bank? Like, that
But
doesn't
you
make
know
sense to
why
me.
the media keeps saying Civil War? It's because they're trying to put it in your head that it's left versus right.
Yeah.
When it should be the people versus the government. We're like the left's not my enemy.
It
Neither
should
is
be
the right.
people. It's the people who contort government and abuse it.
Right.
And it's
Right.
blatantly obvious who's abusing it and who's distorted meanings for their personal benefit. Fucking
Oh
clear.
yeah, you can look at who's manipulating the stock market right now.
Oh,
Pelosi.
Yeah.
Schumer.
I think
And Crenshaw.
Crenshaw. Yeah.
That dude is I got words for that guy.
Yeah, I don't that's the interesting part to me. It depends on, you've seen people, and I don't know if they're just being got to or what, but if you follow, a telegram of different folks, right? You might have liked a bunch of them, but then all of a sudden they're switching aisles. They're switching sides of the aisle, and it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, just did a complete 180. So there's definitely some things moving and shaking in the political realm, and like, it's frustrating. And so I think it's like, what can we do, right? That's the big thing. So you got like the Bud Lights, and you got some of these things that are just like, on its face, it's like, well, I don't understand. Why did that happen? Why are we worried about this? For one, I could care less who Bud Light advertises with. I could absolutely care less. I'm drinking that junk anyways. But why are we pushing such crazy ideology into the mainstream and so fast? All of a sudden, over the past like 3 years or so, you're seeing just an absolute ramp up in progressive liberal ideology, just going nuts. It's the gender stuff. It's pride. It's ERG. It's inclusivity, and all these things just saturating all of the headlines. And it's like, wait a second, because if it truly is we the people, you're talking about very minute percentages of the population. And why is it taking over 100% of the airwaves? That's a question, right? And so, I mean, if you're interested in putting your money, because as people, it's like my question is always, what power do I have? It seems like you can't vote and change things because, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole, but like, if you have faith in the elections, great, keep voting. I'm going to vote too. I don't know that I have a bunch of faith in the election system, but that's one avenue, right? The only other avenue I see is the money that I do make and the money that I get to keep and do what I will after the government takes their chunk. That's power for me. Where I decide to put that carries. It's a vote. Every single time you make a transaction, it's a vote. You might not know who you are voting for, but you probably should. You should take a stronger look at it. If you're going to Target, you're paying for a certain set of political beliefs to be perpetuated. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now is looking at how can I bring my money back to small businesses, American value aligned businesses. And yeah, that's kind of where
I mean, that's the company that you're wearing too is, Public Square.
Public Square. Yeah.
Sign up. They have an app. Sign up. So they send you emails too, updating you on stuff that you can buy, and it's all freedom based and back to those Americana ideologies instead of whatever is coming about now. Back in the 70s, back in the 50s and the 40s, they were worried about communists. Well, it's where we're at.
It's literally where we're at. Everything.
And now it's okay to be a government official and, have a communist flag in your office or something like that.
And to say you hate America, that doesn't make sense, right?
Which is wild to me. I feel like that should be an automatic boot. But then you start dabbling into freedom of speech, and I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole of kicking people out for what they say. But as an elected official, it's just like if you were to speak about your company in a public setting,
it's detrimental to what they're
like
supposed to be.
Like you're wearing your company shirt, and you say something, off tune that is egregious. Let's just go with egregious. And somebody records you, and your company is like, "Well, you're wearing our shirt. People know that you work for the company. It looks bad on us.
Yeah,
we gotta let you go."
Yeah,
we're losing.
That's the corporate America that we find ourselves in. It's like if you're not towing the line and doing the things that makes the corporate structure happy right now, it's just absolutely insane to me. But they are cutting people loose. The vaccination thing, that it's a medical freedom just absolutely ripped away from people. They lost their jobs. They're still fighting to get them back in a lot of states right now. That's a shame. As an American, you should be ashamed of that. But so many people still stand firmly behind stripping people of those rights. And that's what I want to get rid of, is that thought process of us versus them, and stripping people of their God-given rights that we used to believe in this country.
Well, I mean,
you're transplanting real rights for fake rights, because they want to say, oh, you need to have this and that right for this subset of group of people. They already have the right to go do that, but they're taking away your right to defend yourself and to speak for yourself and to associate with the people you want, while they give you nothing. They're giving you nothing, while they're taking you the real ability to prosper.
Yeah, it's like getting grounded, and your dad takes away the video game console, and then gives it back to you, but he only gives you 2 of your 10 games. That's what we just got. Like I had 10 games. I want all of my games.
But if you're good, you can get the other ones back. Maybe.
Right.
No, you only got 5 more back. No, you only got 5 more back. And then guess what? The other people got their 5 back too. So it's just,
we can go into a whole
it's the virtue signaling. It just really is. It's more than anything is people want to be in the camp that feels good about where they stand. And they don't really want to hear anything else. And frankly, that's where we are. And that's kind of the tipping point, is that people are so dug in on their side of the aisle right now that it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what truths come out. It'd be labeled as conspiracy if it doesn't come from one of the big players in MSM. And, what used to be, I think the thing, one just final hammer point is just, what used to be considered traditional American values that across the board, I think we all lived by and embraced, is now being considered extreme right wing ideology, and I don't understand what happened. And it's not. I don't think it's happening on. I think it's more one side than the other, and that's not to divide. That's just saying like, well, what is happening? Because it feels like we are being divided on purpose. Absolutely on purpose.
It's manufactured division for sure, and it's been going on for what I don't know. I think they've been ever since like certain things have started ramping up in media, certain words, racism, transgenderism, all the things. It all started with the Tea Party and then the Wall Street movement. And then it was what was it called? Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
So when the Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party people, whether or not it's like-minded people outside of the government, and you have your liberals and you have your conservatives start agreeing that the government is colluding, that's when they have issues. And then that's when they started sneaking those words into every article, into the news, in the 24-hour news cycle, and just hammering it. The more they say it, the more it becomes truth, no matter if it's a lie.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We're at like 15 years of it.
Yeah. So I mean,
and it's just worse now with social media and how everything is a click away. You don't even have to read the article. You just read the headline and move on. And you're like, oh, well, I hate this guy because this article put his name in the headline. Well, of course, it's probably newspapers too.
Yep.
Or magazines back in the day. However you got your media.
You're right. A confused and divisive nation who does not know its enemy is just wasting its energy, and everyone knows it. It's just the frustration, I think, arises from the fact that we've gone through generations now to where things keep getting worse, and it's like, well, what's the common problem here? It's pretty obvious.
Well, the world keeps getting easier, but you also then start getting more and more confined. Do we lose Danny?
So,
did we lose Danny? Okay. Hey, we'll wait for him to come back.
We didn't go through our pictures yet.
Yeah. Might have to splice this video. Yeah, I was gonna say I got about 10 more minutes.
I thought you did because we're
running
down.
A little long in the tooth.
All right, they must have cut him because he was getting too close to the source.
Yeah, he really is. He's too smart. They don't cut us because we're just.
And many of these topics,
peasants.
many of these points, we could have standalone episodes.
Oh, definitely.
We definitely can. Just glitched out here. I think we were saying we must have been saying some of the right things.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. They caught him because he's too smart. They leave us on, but they cut you out.
They had to stop him.
Well, I do have to put it.
Episode 7, they're getting way too much traffic.
I do have to put a quick plug out there. I do work for Public Square. I am not a paid representative. I wear this of my own accord. I am not a spokesperson, nor do I carry any weight in Public Square as far as like my belief system and my opinions. They are my own. It is my own. One of the many reasons I like working for Public Square is they don't mind that I have my own beliefs and identity and values and stuff. But it does also happen that I align with Public Square. Definitely go check them out. Check out.
Yeah, they have an app, right?
They have an app, Public Square.
Actually, I do have that app on my phone.
PublicSquare.com, and check out their values. See if you align with them, because they really do. I think Public Square for me crosses the aisles because it does. It gets us back to worrying about traditional American values: pro-life, pro-America, pro-Constitution. Our rights were not given by man. Man cannot take them away. It's pretty easy.
Right. The Constitution is a reminder. That's all it is. It's a reminder that we, the people, are who are in charge. That's point blank. We're the ones in charge. They're in their seats because of
We
us.
are, regardless of what they try and tell you.
Right. They're not leaders.
Don't
they're
be
not
scared of them.
they're not their position
be
of
scared.
power.
So that's the problem, is that there's nothing to be scared of. Like you
Right.
have the natural position to question things that are going on that you don't understand.
Right.
It's just that simple. But yet they
Right.
turn around and they have this whole system built up to where you're a crazy kook if you ask the most basic benign questions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
And on that, what do you think? Should we check out a couple photos before we end this?
Yeah. We harvested some photos. Oh, ding, man. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
We ain't farming for you.
Well,
we
these-
need to try and move.
These aren't
Schnack.
memes though, so I feel kind of bad using it.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right, we're
Yeah,
gonna
that other
go
one was
straight
a meme
to this
too.
one that I think is gonna be great.
So, oh, there we go. Hey, that's yours truly.
That is
Little mustache vet action. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably a couple beers deep.
I think we might have had a keg at the wedding celebration there.
Think a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
Some good looking fellas there.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
OB, Maynard,
Yep.
Hack, Schnack.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, and then this one is almost to the day. Look at the date on that.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty wild. I remember this was in Kuwait, and I actually remember standing here and just looking around and finally breathing that exhale of like, we made it out. Like, we're out. We're done. We're on our way home. I remember just the exhale that I let out on this tarmac here. That's wild. I did not look at the
Yeah, it almost seemed too good to be true that we were going back home. Like I know we all went on R&R and we got to see our families midway through the deployment and all, but it was like, wow, it's just a lot of stuff happened. How am I going to leave this place that I have memories here and I know I'm never coming back? Like, I know for sure I'm never going to Iraq again.
Right.
It was not the summer vacation that this flag says it was, right? So
I'm too old to say never.
It's just wild.
I can't say never anymore.
Right.
I'm going back.
I've come across some
You're gonna have
people
to
that
pay
I
me a
thought
lot of
for
money.
Sure, I would never see again. Yeah.
Right. You're gonna have to pay me a lot of money to go back.
A lot, like KBR money.
Oof.
Hey.
Yeah. There we go.
That's that Scott's wedding.
Yep. And my wedding. Looking dapper.
Yeah, more hair going on, definitely, right?
Yep. All of us.
Yep.
All of us with
Yeah.
more hair, except for OB. Almost.
He keeps
Sure.
it clean, man. He's still running a tight
does.
ship with the maintenance
Yeah.
crew.
Got
you
it,
know?
Doopy. Throwing it
That
back
motor-
here.
Oh, hey, yeah, OB looks like a baby.
See, I didn't feel like that though. When this
Yeah,
picture
right.
was taken, I felt like a grown man. You know,
Right. Had that mentality when we were over there.
Could take on the world.
I had that mentality. I was tough shit. I was the tough guy. I was like, oh man, I'm in the army. Raw. I got this gun. I'm riding in a tank.
You are now a member of the world's largest gang.
That's right. Good
powerful.
photo. Oh man, that brings me back. That's fun.
Was that it? That was all of them? Oh wow.
This one.
Oh, there
there
you
you
go. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one a lot. I also like the one in OB's garage. Next time we have you on, we'll pull that one up.
Yeah, from the New Richmond trip. Yep.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so OB had a friend. Wasn't he a ranger or
I forget
special
what his
forces? He did some cool stuff in the army. Let's just say that.
yeah.
Did some interrogation stuff, I think. I don't know. Some cool stuff. But yeah, he had his RV out there, so we all slept in the RV. And it was like a camping trip.
Dude, that was a motor coach of epic proportions. That thing is beautiful. It was fun to have.
Barely fit in OB's driveway.
Yeah. Good times. Well, I appreciate
was.
you guys having me on. I'm
Thanks for
liking
coming on.
watching these. I'm looking forward to the next few.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
sure.
this will be put out today. So I mean, if you end up rewatching it, I know it's an hour and 10 minutes long now. So this is one of our longer episodes. So, but we just kept talking, and that's what this is all about. You know, us just unedited and raw, folks.
Unedited raw fireside chats.
Yep. So put this on in the background if you're cleaning the house. Not vacuuming because then you can't hear us, but put this on in the background, know what I mean? Or when you're driving in the car, man, when you're going from one place to another. If you work on the road, I work on the road. I work all around Pennsylvania, and I always listen to podcasts when I'm on the road. So they make do for boring times. So listen to us, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. Try and keep all
Absolutely.
those pages updated. Danny, it was a pleasure.
Hey, I appreciate
Man.
it, guys. God bless in 2024. May it be the best year of your life thus far.
We're getting big, son. We're getting big. Getting back in the gym. I just
All
got
right,
some new
gentlemen.
attachments. Yep. See you later.
Love
Thanks,
you, boys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Tight.